Theodore. He's a tugboat and a friendly tugboat too. Pushing and a pulling in the great big harbor, in the great big world is so much fun. So many brand new things to discover. Waking with the sun, gotta get the job done. Oh, Theodore and Emily, Vodak, Hank and George, and the Harbourmaster too.
Hello. I'm trying to reach the dispatcher down in the harbor, but this radio is sounding very fuzzy. I wonder what Captain Jerome would do. See, Captain Jerome was my old sea captain. He did everything perfectly. He'd probably just turn it like this. No, it's still fuzzy. You know what Captain Jerome would do? He'd probably pick it up and give it a good shake like this. Oh, now I can't hear anything. I wonder if I broke it. Oh, and Captain Jerome always did everything so perfectly. Of course, I know what Theodore would say about being perfect. You see, not long ago, Benjamin Bridge started snoring. Oh, and then Rebecca started. Maybe I better begin at the beginning. It was a sleepy summer evening in the Big Harbour. Not a boat or bellbuoy or barnacle was stirring. Everything was calm and cool and quiet. Except there was one little sound. A small, buzzing bee kind of sound. And then it grew to be a big, wood-sawing noise. Until finally it was a giant, anchor-rattling, harbor-rocking roar. Benjamin Bridge was snoring. It was the loudest snoring you ever heard. Now, right below Benjamin is the Oceanic Institute, and that's where Rebecca, the research vessel, lives. Benjamin was snoring so loudly, Rebecca couldn't sleep. The next morning, Theodore was waiting for Rebecca with Shelburne, the giant sea barge. Rebecca was going to take them underwater exploring. "Here she comes," shouted Theodore. "Good morning," he whistled to Rebecca. But Rebecca didn't look like it was a good morning. You see, she was feeling tired because Benjamin Bridge had kept her up all night with his loud snoring. "Where are we going today?" asked Shelburne in his slow kind of voice. "Someplace," replied Rebecca sleepily. "Someplace," Theodore repeated to Shelburne. Theodore was a little puzzled. Rebecca was always so cheerful. But today she seemed, well, kind of grumpy. Rebecca led them to a small island they had never seen before, just outside the Big Harbour. "What are we looking for?" asked Shelburne. Something, Rebecca yawned again. "Something special, I bet," Theodore whispered to Shelburne. "Rebecca always finds special things." Well, Theodore was so enthusiastic, Rebecca quickly forgot how tired and grumpy she was. "Long, long ago," she explained, "this island was almost all underwater, and ships couldn't see it. A lot of ships bumped into it and sank. Maybe some of their things are still down there." "Rebecca," smiled Theodore, "you know everything." Just then, Rebecca's special equipment told her they'd found something. "Look right under here," she ordered. She moved out of the way, and Theodore pushed Shelburne into position. The big barge lowered his dredge to scoop up treasure from the bottom. Shelburne was working very slowly, like he usually did. Shelburne, said Theodore impatiently, can you please hurry up? Oh, it's a nice day, smiled Rebecca. No big hurry. No big hurry, Shelburne, Theodore smiled, just like Rebecca. It is a nice day. Down on the bottom of the ocean, Shelburne's dredge hit something. He caught it. And brought up a wonderful old ship's bell. Well, everyone let out excited whistles. Rebecca, said Theodore, that was really great. A little later, everyone headed home. Rebecca turned for her dock, tooting a little tune. Goodbye. Theodore tooted a tune to say goodbye on his whistle, just the same as Rebecca had done.
Rebecca sure is nice,
said Shelburne. Nice, smiled Theodore. Rebecca is perfect. That evening, everything was calm and cool and quiet, except there was one little sound. Near Rebecca's dock, Benjamin Bridge was snoring again. He was snoring so loud he was shaking and shuddering from one shore to the other. Every time Rebecca thought Benjamin had finally stopped snoring, out came the most enormous snore of all. Rebecca knew it was going to be a very long, loud, snory night. Well, the following morning was foggy and soggy in the Big Harbor. Theodore and Shelburne were waiting for Rebecca to go exploring again. When Theodore saw Rebecca, he blew his cheeriest "Good morning" whistle. Oh, loud, grumbled Rebecca. You see, she hadn't slept one bit again, on account of Benjamin's snoring. And now she was really tired and really grumpy. Theodore was really surprised. I mean, he couldn't ever remember Rebecca sounding so grumpy before.
Is everything okay?
Asked Shelburne slowly. Let's just get to work, frowned Rebecca. Yeah, let's just get to work. Theodore frowned at Shelburne, just like Rebecca.
What are we looking for today?
Said Shelburne. But Rebecca didn't seem to hear him.
What are we looking for?
Shelburne repeated a little louder. Shelburne, said Rebecca, stop shouting. Shelburne was lowering his dredge slowly, very slowly into the water. And don't creak so loud, added Rebecca. Everything today seemed to upset her. Don't creak so loud, Shelburne, repeated Theodore. Theodore didn't really know why Rebecca was so upset, but if she was upset, he decided to be upset too. Shelburne began to lower his dredge even slower.
I found something,
said Shelburne quietly. Shelburne's dredge had hit something on the bottom of the harbor. Now he tried to raise it up, slowly. It seemed to take forever, and all Rebecca wanted to do was go back to her dock to sleep. Shelburne, she shouted, hurry up, I don't have all day. But of course, Shelburne couldn't go any faster. Theodore honked at Shelburne. "Shelburne," he shouted, "hurry up!" Well, Shelburne was so upset at all the shouting and the honking that he gave his line a jerk, and it snapped.
I think,
said Shelburne,
I broke my cable.
Theodore pulled Shelburne to the repair dock and headed home following Rebecca. No one said a word for what seemed like a very long time. "Well, why did you do that?" Rebecca said suddenly. For a moment, Theodore wasn't sure Rebecca was talking to him. "Do what?" he asked. "Well, why did you shout at Shelburne?" asked Rebecca. This time, Theodore didn't say anything for a moment. "You do that?" he said finally. Now it was Rebecca's turn to look surprised. "Yes, I guess I did," she said slowly. "I don't know why I shouted at Shelburne," she added. "But," said Theodore slowly, "I thought you knew everything, Rebecca." Rebecca turned to Theodore. "I do know one thing," she said softly. "Well, what's that?" said Theodore. "I know I should apologize to you. I'm kind of tired and grumpy today. Benjamin kept me up all night with his snoring." "But you're the one who did the shouting," said Theodore. "Yes," said Rebecca slowly. "You're right, Theodore. I'm the one who did the shouting, and I'm sorry." Well, suddenly everything seemed kind of turned upside down to Theodore. Like the water was dry and like the sky was wet. And like he was bigger than Rebecca. "Rebecca?" he said at last. "Yes?" "It's okay. Nobody's perfect." For the first time that day, Rebecca smiled. "Thanks, Theodore," she said. "I'll remember that. But what am I going to do about Benjamin snoring?" Theodore had an idea. "I think," he said, "that old ship's bell we found the other day is just the thing." "It is?" said Rebecca. "If we tied it onto Benjamin," explained Theodore, "then every time he snores and shakes, the bell will ring and wake him up." "That's a perfect idea," said Rebecca. "It's not perfect," grinned Theodore, "but it just might work." Now, what am I going to do with this radio? Maybe Captain Jerome would have taken his radio and given it a good shake to clear away the fuzz. But I think I have a better idea. I'm just going to put it back in its place here like this, turn it off, and just let it rest for a moment. Thanks for visiting us here in the Big Harbor. We'll see you all again next time. Ah, look at that. Huh? It works, and no fuzz. And now I can call the dispatcher. Oops. I forgot what I was going to say. Well, nobody's perfect.
Theodore.
There's another story coming right up, and you can always learn more about Theodore Tugboat on the internet. Find us through PBS Online.
Pushing and a pulling in the great big harbor, in the great big world is so much fun. So many brand new things to discover. Waking with the sun, gotta get the job done. Oh, Theodore and Emily, Voda, Hank and George, and the Harbourmaster too.